Hey guys, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this literally does not work. Forgive me, let me get open for business here real quick. I'm actually getting everything packed up because we're headed over to Lucky's to live stream during the game and stuff, and I can't wait. Today, it's a huge, huge day for the Cowboys versus, of course, Tampa Bay. It's not so much Tampa Bay as it is about us getting our stuff together and getting ready to make a run. Now, it's so funny because there's so much dislike for Dak Prescott and stuff that you have so many of you guys that are trying to get a gotcha moment with me and stuff. And you guys will pull up what one person says and all that. And understand, listen, I look at my team right now. My team is in a great spot for the playoffs with the quarterback we have. My team has won 30 games with this guy behind center. My team with this guy under center has not missed a game. I look at Mariota. How many times has that dude been hurt? I look at, guys like Kirk Cousins who has great numbers but ain't busted a grape. I look at, veteran quarterbacks like Alex Smith that's gotten hurt. And I've looked at, guys, young people that everybody has faith in, and Jimmy Garoppolo, who didn't do that good. I look at high round draft picks that have been bust. I'm happy with what I have. If you're not, that's cool. But it's funny because everybody's talking about Nate Newton. Now, Nate Newton, he's a funny guy and everything else, big personality, Super Bowl champion and everything else. He's a guy who has his beliefs. I'm not going to knock him for his beliefs and stuff. But people are saying, well, you're just avoiding what Nate Newton said, blah, 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 blah. You're just one sided. Okay, no. Let's go ahead and forgive me because I don't have my Mevo camera set up right now. Actually, this is my cell phone that's on here, so I just had felt the need to come do this, and I'm not going to reset up the Mevo and everything else. So hopefully this will be good. But let's listen to exactly what Nate Newton says, because see, this is an instance of where you guys take something out of context as opposed to listening to the whole message. And we'll go through and listen to it. Let's listen to it right now. I can't zoom in because I don't have my Mevo, but let's listen to it.
Is saying, how can you show us so much good over the last several weeks, and then you look like garbage on this week? That's what the public wants to know. How can that happen?
That, and I will repeat to your public, which Mr. Eisen himself does a great job on his show of reaching the nation, is they're not mature. They don't understand the enormity of it. And like I say, they don't have a big game hunter, somebody that you can just turn loose. And I keep beating around the bush, but their quarterback is not there.
So, okay, I'm glad you said that. So if your quarterback is not there, he has a payday coming up, and it's something we've just focused on. Should some of these quarterbacks make this type of money? Because he's going to make $100 million, but yet and still.
No, he won't.
Why won't he?
He won't. You cannot give him $100 million because
if they won't, somebody else will.
Okay, all right. If you believe that, that's fine. But if you want to be successful, you have to understand who your quarterback is and what he can and cannot do. And at this point in time in his career, what are you going to pay for? What you think is going to happen, or what you see is happening?
Nate, so you don't think the guy's going to make at least 20 to 30? So he's not going to make from 20 to $30 million a year next year. This is the going rate for an average quarterback right now. It's 20 to $30 million a year.
Let me say this, Prime, and I'm saying this as a friend. Kirk Cousins is a 20 or less million dollar player. The kid in Denver is the same. Yes, everybody got a little carried away with trying to give away their money so their teams can suffer. But I pray and hope that Jerry Jones, and I call him Mr. Jones, does not go out and get his kid this type of money. Pay him for what you see. He is a quarterback that deserves $13 to $15 million. It's a lot of quarterbacks are overpaid in this league. Don't wreck your team to say that you got a $20 million quarterback and you barely can make the playoffs. I'm looking at the Vikings right now. God has paid $84 million. That's not right. He's supposed to be able to uncover. He must be able to cover up all wounds and badness. He's not been able to do that. When this team has been down, he's been down with the team. He's not put it. It's only 4 or 5 quarterbacks in this league that can put a team on his back and take them where they need to go.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say this. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. Let me pull up something here real quick because this over the cap. Here's this thing. He's not saying that Dak Prescott. Well, first of all, let's take it like this. He says you don't want to pay him $20 million of money. But he's also saying that you don't want to pay anybody $20 million. He's looking at Kirk Cousins and saying he's overpaid. He's saying there's only about 5 quarterbacks that you can put on your back and say they're going to get it done. So when we look at quarterback salary, and I'm sorry I don't have the Mevo hooked up here, understand you're talking about paying him $13 to $15 million, which is below, way below. We're talking about half the cost of what everybody else is paying. And if you don't want to pay him that, fine. He will go someplace else and do that. I would. I wouldn't be mad at him. Why should I work for half the going rate? So Nate Newton, I don't know if you work for ESPN or something, but how would you like to go ahead and do the same show that everybody else does for half the money? So the show that comes on before you, they make twice the money that you do. And your ratings are pretty close to being the same. Would you do that on your job? Because it's not about if he's paying just Dak Prescott. He's saying quarterbacks in general. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And what he's actually saying is bass backwards, Nate. I love you, dude. I know you're scared to death of Joe Boo and everything, but here's what you're saying. Pay the man for what he's already done, not for what you think he's going to do. So we paid Des Bryant for what he did in the past instead of looking at what we were thinking he was going to do because he was getting older and getting injured more. That's where you got screwed. That's where New England goes through and says, you know what? You're a Pro Bowler now. I'm going to get what I can get for you, and I'm going to go ahead and get somebody younger. Quarterbacks are different. And if you believe that you're going to be able to tell Dak Prescott, you're going to get paid $13 million, not even half of what the going rate is for guys that haven't busted a grape or even won a playoff game. Guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, who basically got that $120-some million contract off of 7 games. Not when you look at a guy like Alex Smith, who's aging and over the hill, who got $70 million guaranteed. You're going to tell this guy that he should take $13 million a year? I would say read between the lines. I'll go elsewhere. I'll get paid. Because when you look at this, here's what you got. And when you say there's 5 guys that can put a team on their back and take them where they need to be, well, let's look at the top 5, right now. Aaron Rodgers. Is he putting the team on his back right now and taking them where they're going? Has he in the last 5 years? Matt Ryan. Okay, and this is the numbers right here. $33 million a year for Aaron Rodgers, who just signed that contract. Okay? Understand, that's a lot of money, and you don't want to spend that kind of money on quarterback because you then have to worry about fitting out the rest of the team. But it's the going rate. Matt Ryan, $30 million a year. Is he putting the team on his back and taking them where they go? I believe he, excuse me, I choked, in the Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins. And again, I say Kirk Cousins, I looked at it and said he never beat Dak Prescott in 4 times, but got $28 million. Jimmy Garoppolo, $27 million off of 7 games. Matthew Stafford, who has done nothing ever, never won a playoff game. In fact, I think he's only been to 2, is getting $27 million. Derek Carr crying on the field, and had Amari Cooper, and in 6 games can only get 1 touchdown pass and 280 yards. He is getting $25 million. Drew Brees, now that's one of the guys that you look and say, yeah, Drew Brees can put a team on his back and he can lead them. But although he's had 3 seasons of over 5,000 yards, those teams did have losing records. So it is a little bit more than just a quarterback. That one is worth more than 25. Andrew Luck, 24.5, and has an injury history. Can he put a team on his back? He's getting 25, and you're saying Dak should take half of that money? Alex Smith, $23 million. You're saying that Dak should take $10 million less than that guy who may never play again? Russell Wilson, yeah, I say he's underpaid, $21 million. Joe Flacco, who's going to get cut, $22 million. You're almost saying he should take half of that kind of money. Come on, man. Come on. Big Ben, he's probably underpaid at 21. Eli Manning, 21. He's stealing money right now. Phillip Rivers, probably underpaid. So when you look at these numbers, and even guys like Ryan Tannehill, you're saying that Dak Prescott should take $5 million less than Ryan Tannehill? Come on, man. Come on, man. Case Keenum, $18 million. You're telling me he should take less than that? Blake Bortles, $17 million. He should take less than that? Andy Dalton, $16 million. Come on. Your whole thing is you're mad that quarterbacks are getting paid like crazy and you didn't in your career. Now, anybody believes that Dak Prescott should take $13 million when backups are making that kind of money is literally out of their cotton-picking mind. You have to at least pay him. And I'm not saying pay him Aaron Rodgers money. No, you want to get a team-friendly contract and understand that the salary cap is going up. And I don't understand why we're talking about Dak Prescott getting paid when there's a guy like Marcus Mariota who has to get paid this year who can't stay on the field. Nobody's talking about, do we have to worry about paying that guy? Nobody's talking about Carson Wentz who can't stay on the field and whether or not they need to pay that guy because that guy, well, actually, Dak Prescott's got better numbers than he does. This is all just hate on this quarterback, and it's unrealistic. And all of you guys who think, Dak sucks and Dak is the worst thing in the world and he should just take half the money or less than what is the going rate. Well, you don't have to watch my channel. Believe me, there are plenty of Dak hating channels you can go to. But this stuff is ridiculous. And that's what I have to say about that. He's saying that everybody makes too much as a quarterback, not just Dak Prescott. And you guys have got me pissed off this morning. Man, I hope my team comes out with as much anger as I have right now and takes it out on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I am done with this one. Nate Newton, what Nate Newton said. Well, you're going to take Nate Newton's scared of a voodoo doll, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.